Hey guys, what's going on? We've made it. We're down to our final session here with distributor Gemsen on day 6 of CMA Industry Week. If you've been following us all day, thank you for joining us once again and sticking with us. And if you're watching this on demand, welcome. On this next session, we're going to be covering a very unique product line and range that really fixes a lot of problems and offers a ton of different solutions. It's known as NAV-TV. Dave, NavTV holds a special place in the Gemsen lineup because it is a solutions provider.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we pride ourselves in having the best brands in the industry. And, a year ago, we welcomed NavTV into the Gemsen family that they join, all of our, best of brands in the industry. And, we're interested in them because they're highly regarded in the industry. They are based in the United States, but they not only do they offer solutions for vehicle safety, which is where a lot of people know NavTV from. The name NavTV kind of came from integrating cameras into the factory navigation back when that category didn't even exist. They've evolved into manufacturers of and suppliers of different things. Vehicle safety, convenience products, et cetera, and you were talking about OEM integration with audio, and JL Audio mentioned NavTV preamp interfaces. They by far offer the best quality using the best design and componentry of preamp modules in the industry. So, I'm really happy, to be sharing the floor with this particular guest that we're going to bring up because, he was a guy that I met at NavTV. I've met him, years before, and extremely knowledgeable guy. I think if you talk to anybody in the industry, they say, "Man, that guy is super smart. He knows a ton." And unfortunately, he's retiring out of the 12-volt industry. So this may actually be his swan song. We may not see Derek Schmiedel, who we're going to bring on board, another time. So, this is a special moment for us, and I'm sure for him, where we get to talk a little bit about NavTV, and he can share his passion and his knowledge. And believe me, he's got a ton of knowledge.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring back to CMA Mr. Derek Schmiedel from NavTV. Welcome back, Derek.
Hey, thanks for having me, and thanks for the kind words. I'll take swan song. Just don't play Stairway to Heaven.
But I had that. Okay, cut that. Cut it. He doesn't want it, guys. He doesn't want it. Cut it. NavTV, the last time we had you on was for an episode of Live where we talked about OEM integration. And of course, NavTV is synonymous with OEM integration, especially in the car audio world. But we're hoping to kind of get a broader scope of everything, get the story behind Nav and a couple of the solutions that you guys offer. And if this is the swan song, well, we're going to milk it. We want to get every last ounce of info out of you in this time frame, if possible, sir, if that's okay.
Absolutely. It's been a wild ride, 14 years. I started, I think there was about 36 products, and I believe we're up to 998. So I'm hoping to make 1,000 by 2 weeks from now. NavTV started out of necessity. We were started with a husband and wife team based in Brooklyn, New York. At the time, Moni Melman and Constance Gisano. NavTV was really born out of necessity because there were things that customers were coming in looking for that didn't exist. And Moni had the passion, the knowledge, and the sheer will to make things happen. So I'm going to go through a few of the solutions we offer as a company. If I went through everything, we'd be here for 2 weeks. So we're going to get started with the foundation of the company. As Dave mentioned, it's basically video integration at factory screens. So rear view cameras, you don't have to explain them anymore. When we started with this, no one really knew what they were for. Nowadays, about every car comes with them. But the reason that our products are so prolific is now 100% of the vehicles have a screen. So what happens if the customer wants more than just a rear view camera? Okay, there's a variety of solutions, and we're going to show you how to build upon using one interface to do multiple solutions. So the first question we get asked is, what vehicles are compatible with NavTV interfaces? we have the largest selection of any integration company in the world, bar none. In fact, I put this little slide together just to show you what we represent kind of internationally. I don't know why that just zoomed. Okay, so, and it zoomed again.
Technology, we gotta love it.
Yeah, there we go. So this is really the represent. Okay, I didn't even hit anything that time. We basically cater to most of the brands of the world, both here and internationally. We do have representation outside the United States, and obviously there's vehicles that don't exist here. So our engineering department, our product development department is the guys that really deserve the recognition, not me. I've been out of that section for a lot of years, but if you take a look at what's on the screen, these guys day in, day out they're dealing with this stuff, and sometimes at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I think he's got a hotspot activated there. Okay, there. It looks like it's all sorted out.
All right. So that looks like with my mouse. So we're going to give you one example of some video integration. We're taking a BMW, very common vehicle. This particular video you're about to see did not have a rear view camera, did not have a front view camera, had this beautiful existing screen. And honestly, the customer's not going to want to replace that with a traditional radio. And Dave, you can go ahead and cue up the video.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was very seamless and OE feely like.
That's the intent. Look, our customers demand the best, and their customers are expecting what they're seeing on the showroom floor at a BMW dealership, at a Porsche dealership. They don't want anything in between, and that's what we give them. So for us to go from rear view cameras to start doing things like front view was a natural progression. And really, our dealers and the customers drove the demand for extra features. One of them has been really popular, and it's trucks. What do trucks do? They haul things. I mean, it's getting to be boat season. You guys in Canada are about done with jet ski season. And look, when you put a trailer on a truck, doesn't matter what you're pulling, you're eliminating that safety factor of a rear view camera. So we're going to show you a couple examples that if the dealers present these to customers and show them the same type of flawless integration you just witnessed with a factory system. So the next segment is going to be trailer cameras. So the idea behind this is you get a truck, car, whatever, cars sometimes tow things, that has a factory rear view camera. So how do you add a safety feature to that camera, that trailer, efficiently, quickly, and cost effectively? So we're about to show you a solution for the big three in America, at least, with trailer cameras. So what you're about to see is an auto switching, complete plug and play system. All the installation is done at the back of the car. You're not having to rip apart the dash, do anything else. This kit provides power, ground. It provides the video signal, the full audio, the full video switching circuit. So this is what it is. Okay, and this is just one example of many ones that we have. There's a T-harness, and all you do is unplug the factory T-harness at the back of the vehicle. You plug this in. Now, when your trailer is not connected, your OEM system works exactly like factory. The second you plug this thing in, it's video sensed. So what happens is the video now switches while in reverse from the factory rear view camera to the trailer rear view camera. And the video is actually, I believe, my wife's truck. So, Dave, if you want to cue up the trailer camera video.
Hey guys, so we got a 2016 Ford F-150. It's got the factory rear camera with a 4-inch screen. Let's go take a look at that right now. So as I mentioned, it has the factory rear camera with a factory 4-inch screen. And there that is right there. We're lined up to our trailer. We're about to pull forwards to in a minute. Okay, so the trailer harness kit comes with a trailer camera, which is very waterproof and impact resistant. Comes with IRs on there so you can see better at night. Comes with an extension cable that gets the camera from the rear of the trailer to the front of the trailer. And the most important part, it comes with a switching circuitry, which breaks open the rear camera, works normally in reverse until you connect the camera to here, and it switches automatically to the trailer's camera with no modification to the dashboard or radio whatsoever. We're going to show you how that connects up right now. Okay, so now we're underneath the truck near the spare tire well behind the bumper. So first thing you want to do is trace the factory camera harness down. It comes in from the tailgate. You can see that here. You want to disconnect this guy. Okay, so to verify that you're on the right connector, put the truck in reverse, and you should either get a message or a blue screen or no camera image at all. While in reverse, there's the message right there. Then we take our T-harness, and this is industrial heat shrink, by the way. It's completely sealed, waterproof. Connect the T-harness in, and then run the third end up over near the bumper so that you can access it when you connect your trailer. Okay, now that we have the trailer camera system connected, we can roll back up to our trailer here. Okay, now that you've connected your trailer, go ahead and connect your brakes like you would normally, your brake lights, and then connect the camera that you've already installed onto the trailer. Okay, now that the system is connected, when we put the truck in reverse now we see the trailer's image instead of the factory image, automatically, without any installation behind the dashboard or the radio or anything like that. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you now live how the camera switching works. Right now we're in factory. Put it in reverse, you can see the trailer there from the factory tailgate camera. So we're going to walk over to the back of the truck now and connect the trailer camera. And now immediately you can see the trailer camera's image. We've done nothing to the dashboard to make this happen. Really simple plug and play installation.
So handy. Oh my goodness.
So you can see the benefit of using the factory camera to hook the trailer up. Then when the trailer is connected, you still have that safety factor. Now, one thing the video didn't show, if you look at the presentation, I still have it up on the screen. We actually, on the upper left-hand corner, give you waterproof connectors for the truck as well as the trailer. So the umbilical cable, that little curly Q there, now goes between the truck and the trailer, and that's all included in these kits. And it's not just for Ford, okay? This is the easiest compatibility guide in the world. You literally get under the truck, you do what Brennan did in the video, you unplug it, you verify the connector, you look at your qualification, which is either year or model only, or key and push to start in some cases. and that's your solution for that particular vehicle. And you see that we are including Chevy GMC, which also does work for the Cadillac versions, Ford and Ram. So the top 3 towing vehicles in North America.
I'm sorry, I got Dave's muted here. Dave, you got to unmute your mic.
Sorry about that. So one thing I just want to add here is, and I say this to all 12-volt dealers, take advantage of the insanity that's happening right now in the RV industry. You know, I camp with my family. We had a trailer, that sort of thing, and I'm well versed in this world. And let me tell you, you cannot find campers anywhere. It's insanity. You know, with people being limited on the amount of travel, people are going insane getting trailers. Not only that, I can tell by, you know, just a provincial parks trying to book a spot is almost impossible. But, you know, you think you can do T-harnesses, plug and play, remote start and make a quick buck? I mean, geez, this is just as simple. It's a no-brainer and, you know, really simple to do. So I highly, highly encourage guys take advantage of this. We can get them this information, this PDF, if they want to keep it on hand for their own reference.
RVs, trailers, boats.
Available.
Crazy.
Like I said, it's extremely simple. You know, we wanted to make things, again, as intuitive as possible while retaining the key safety and functionality of the vehicle. And this is just a natural progression, again, for us, taking something that was a given now. It wasn't 10 years ago. So even these vehicles don't, across the board, offer any type of solution from the OEM. So you've seen rear view camera, you've seen front view camera, you've seen trailer camera. What else can you do with video integration? We started off with entertainment, and that quickly led to safety. And the safety category really has gotten very large over the last couple of years. It's not as sexy as a category as audio. I'll admit that, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier to sell to a woman with children, or even for a guy to be able to say, hey, I made this investment for the family. You know, I've just heard horrible stories. I'm not going to go over them tonight. I prefer to keep this light and airy. But let's talk about what else you can do with video integration. Besides front rear cameras, besides trailer cameras, what else do you think can do? Well, there's obviously night vision. I mean, everyone's seen the movie Predator, okay? Predator used thermal imaging night vision. That's what he saw. And that's why when Arnold Schwarzenegger got coated with mud, he became invisible. Well, believe it or not, FLIR is a partner of ours. It is a very, very good category for us and the video safety integration. It enables you to see a minimum of 1,500 feet in sheer darkness through fog, sleet, and snow. And it is immune to light. So as you're blinded by oncoming headlights, you will get a crisp, clear picture. This particular camera is also animal and pedestrian detection. So it gives you actual boxes around potential threats in the vehicle's path. Again, another thing to add as part of a vehicle safety category. What if I have a OEM system? You know, I've got one rear view camera port, or I have a NAV-TV part that has one input. What can I do? Well, we came up with a solution based on modular integration, meaning taking one interface that's designed for one aspect, and let's just call it rear view camera, and be able to expand on this. So now we can add, with the use of the SVS6, we can add front view, we can add rear view, we can add trailer camera, which is also video sensing. So with this, you can actually replicate exactly what you saw in the trailer cam video. You can add side view cameras. You can add video inputs for entertainment for the kids on the road. So the fact is that most of our products have more than one video input. But from what you've seen, even if you have two, you couldn't actually add these things with just the interface alone. You'd be limited to the first video you saw, which is front and rear camera. So let's talk about how to do this. Think outside the box. Let's say the customer has a front and rear camera. He wants to add blind spot cameras. You could use the NavTV vehicle specific integration unit. You can add the SVS6. You can hardwire this to the left and right turn signals, and you have your solution for your customer. Front view camera. Let's say you have an OEM radio or a video integration with one input. Again, you can add the SVS6, or if we do produce, and most of ours do have two inputs, you can add a front view camera. Now, where's this application? Any sports car, guys. Any sports car or rock crawler. It's the easiest sell in the world. In fact, I would tell you, any Porsche owner, if you tell them, hey, this one interface will do a rear camera and a front camera, you'll sell it 85% of the time. Why? Because valances in the front of cars are not cheap, especially on a Porsche or a Corvette or any brand name there.
Mm-hmm.
Flare night vision, what you just saw. Okay, it's an example which only comes on a very, very select amount of OEM cars as an option. It's not a cheap option. I think BMW, when we first started doing this, was available on the 7 Series only, and then they incorporated a few more models. Their sticker showed a price of $2,500 for the camera, but what they didn't tell you is you had to add for a $10,000 package in order to get the option. So with us, you can add a camera which is actually a little bit more feature rich because it has animal and pedestrian detection. The BMW OEM, Mercedes, and several others at the time only had pedestrian detection. Center high mounted stoplights. You saw trailer cameras. Well, guess what, guys? There's some fifth wheels. And a fifth wheel, if you haven't driven one, aren't exactly the funnest thing to actually dock. Okay, so this is a camera that's mounted on the third brake light. It's forcing down into the bed. It gives you the ability to see belongings in the bed, but mainly the customers are interested in actually backing up and connecting to a fifth wheel, which attaches inside the bed of the truck. So this type of an application, again, is really, really unique. Trailer cameras, as you saw. Again, it's a lot easier to back your trailer, your boat, whatever you have on the trailer if you have a view behind it. No more, honey, can you get back there and help me guide this trailer into the parking spot? 360-degree cameras. Steve Witt just actually demoed using our interfaces his OmniView camera they demonstrate at Knowledge Fest over last weekend. It's a category that is it's integrated into our product. We don't offer it as a company, but whatever brand you choose, you can use one of our interfaces and you can add that solution as well. Baby cameras. Okay, I have one in that red truck you saw. I have a 20-month-old child, and when she was rear-facing, it was very distracting as you're driving down the road. If she lost her binky or something happened, you can actually turn this on as you're going down the road with our interfaces. You can inspect what's going on with the child with your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. So this last one, which is advanced manipulation of OEM systems we're about to experience. And I have to tell you, this is a really, really cool project. Our CEO, Moni Malman, took this one on. This was his baby. He actually bought at the time, it was, I believe, a 19 F-250 Super Duty. And the system consists of side view cameras, front view cameras, rear view cameras, and a center high mounted third stoplight camera. Now, looking at this vehicle as a normal person, I would expect those huge side view cameras to come on when I change the lanes. Super Duty really is used for heavy duty work and towing, hence the name. Well, guess what? These cameras are only really used for the 360 system. They don't work with turn signals. The front view camera is limited, speed limited. So he got this vehicle and understood the problems with the way the factory system worked. And Dave, we have a video called the COD F50 if you want to cue that one up. And it's actually got a testimonial, really crappy video by a customer. So it's a real guy that sent us this video.
All right, just got the NavTV installed here from Monty. Man, this thing is sweet. I'm really digging it. But just thought I'd post a little video of the install. It went, I mean, it was really easy. Instructions are great. System's responsive. Wanted to say thank you to Monty, and man, if you guys are looking to get your cameras working while you're rolling down the street, I mean, this is the way to go.
That's a really cool system. Who would have thought a vehicle that expensive with cameras on the side would not, give you camera visibility when you're turning lanes?
No, exactly. I mean, these vehicles are, like I said, they're intended for work. I mean, if you look at the Dodges, they've got those huge, like, Bullwinkle things. And the reason being is so they can see out past the sides of the trailer. So, how neat would this to be if you're actually using these vehicles for work or whatever, to have one of these safety features? I know there's been many times where I've been towing over the years where even with tow mirrors, I couldn't see somebody that was in my blind spot. So this is a really neat feature. The other thing is, some people use these for off-road. You could turn on the front view camera without any speed limitations. So the foreigners have really loved this thing. It's one of our best-selling products right now as a company, actually. Completely plug and play. There's no wire splicing. We also have a version of this called the COD F53, which enables 3 additional video inputs. So if you wanted to go ahead and put night vision on, wanted to do the baby camera, or we've got a lot of customers that tow horse trailers, and they're actually putting the cameras inside so they can actually view. Yeah.
Is the same interface, Derek? Would be the same interface, just more inputs?
Yeah, it's the same interface. Basically, there's the secondary card. I don't know if you saw the actual piece. There's a secondary card which is different. The main interface is the same. It's all plug and play. On the 53, we have instructions to wire the things up to the vehicle upfit switches, which are on the overhead console of the Super Duties. So again, it's seamless. You don't see any buttons. Everything looks OEM. So, if you wanted to add a DVD player or something to entertain the kids on the road, you could do it. If you live in Maine and you're scared of running into to moose, or anywhere in Canada for that matter, deer, it's something that which is a solution to, let's face it, it's not a cheap car. I think the video, the truck in the video was right around $80,000. So we're not talking about cheap vehicles.
No, not at all. I bet you the Batmobile has that same interface.
I would hope so, if it's a Ford.
I'm just saying it has the same features for sure. You guys made it. You just can't talk about it. I understand.
Derek, real quick, you were mentioning, the whole, front balance thing. I think I shared a story with you, my Dodge Ram. I wish I'd put a camera in, because one day I was pulling up in a parking spot. The dude in front of me had a trailer hitch sticking out. And lo and behold, I go right into it, damaged my bumper. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't even have to have a Porsche, No, every day.
The red truck in the video, the interface that's in there, it doesn't just have the trailer cam. It's got several pieces. And actually, the first one that we put on that truck was a front camera. My wife's truck barely fits in our garage. I mean, like within an inch. So the ability to actually turn that on and see where you're going was really invaluable. And being from San Francisco originally, where parking's very tight, I can really see the benefit in something like that. It doesn't just have to be these larger vehicles.
I see a lot of guys with boats backing into their garage to that close, but they have to get out a million times, or they have markers on the side to try to line up their mirrors and stuff. You know what I mean? I had one question. That FLIR camera, is that meant to be put in the front grille? It's small, right?
It's fairly small. When I first installed my first thermal imaging camera by a company called Raytheon, it wasn't FLIR. And he was on a Hummer way back when, Alpha. That thing was probably 2.5 feet wide. It was humongous. These are smaller than my fist.
Okay, they're still not tiny though. They're not like a
No.
backup camera tiny.
They're not like a backup camera. They see heat, they don't see light, so you
Right.
can't put it inside because your windshield, as we all know, will heat up and cool down. So this is looking for heat. So it has to be outside the vehicle. The lenses are actually made either of germanium or a silicate. So they're literally bulletproof. This camera was originally designed for the A1 Abrams tank. So this is military grade technology. You know, this is not a toy by any means. It's not your.
But when you live in the country, yeah, large animal detection is a real thing.
Well, originally I saw the opportunity with over-the-road trucking. I did some analysis, and we figured out through talking with insurance companies how much it costs an 18-wheeler to be down for a week. And this is over 10 years ago. The price at that time was over $20,000 for the week. And that's the lost revenue. That has nothing to do with your insurance deductible, anything else. And we've had moderate success, but I think that for our dealers watching this, they have to understand that when you have companies like Audi, BMW, Rolls-Royce, Mercedes-Benz, Volvo, that offer these as a factory option, they don't offer them on every trim level. So it's something that you can add a NavTV vehicle-specific interface and add that technology when the dealership can't.
Very cool.
And speaking of that, we're about to talk about other technology you can add to a factory vehicle that didn't exist at the time the car was built. Again, like rear view cameras, we have a lot of these things. CarPlay and Android Auto has been huge. The benefits are, content, streaming services. But for me, where I saw the benefit was maps. Several years ago, I had a couple cars that had factory navigation, and I got frustrated because my maps kept getting outdated. Well, with CarPlay and Android Auto, you're taking the maps from your phone, which is connected. So you never have that problem. You have the benefit with these type of modules to add CarPlay or Android Auto or both. In fact, in our case, both, to vehicles that didn't ever come with it. And we're just going to show you one example of this. So the models that we're currently supporting right now with this technology is a lot of the Audis, Bentleys, BMW, Cadillac, Chevrolet, GM, Land Rover, Lexus, Porsche, and Jaguar. We chose these for a reason. You see that most of these are mid-level to higher-end brands. And a lot of the times that customer that buys that Bentley or Audi or Range Rover, especially Porsche, look, they want that aesthetic of the OEM, but they're looking for features they couldn't get with their vehicle. So, Dave, you want to cue up the Bentley Android Auto?
Starting route to McDonald's.
Okay, or you could do it via voice. We don't have the mic hooked up yet, but it would work.
Head north on Northwest 120th Avenue.
You can also come in the phone through voice for pretty much all the smartphones there. And the music as well, based off of whatever you have going on.
Okay, yeah, Bentley's not exactly a common vehicle. Okay, we showed that for a reason, because of the brand you see on the screen. I mentioned before that customers want that aesthetic of the vehicle. A Bentley is a status symbol, the same way that a Porsche is, a Jaguar, or a Land Rover. Okay, these are guys that are less apt to change the radio in their vehicle. They may be integrated. And unfortunately, between 11 and 17, almost no Bentleys incorporated either CarPlay or Android Auto. So as you saw from the video, this is completely integrated through the factory touchscreen. All the other features of the radio work exactly like intended. All we did was we gave them a conduit to be able to enjoy this luxury vehicle with modern technology. Now, as a segue, what I will tell you is there's unfortunately sometimes when you can't do anything with the factory head unit. Everything you've seen up to this point, and 99% of what we've done as a company over the years, is using the factory head unit. Well, let's talk about another thing to do, which is head unit replacement. Now, we actively chose things that kind of made sense for us. We don't support a lot of vehicles. We do them with, let's just call it harder technology. So we're supporting Bentley, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche for head units. Very, very popular SKUs. Again, on the status symbol, it gets to a point where, hey, your 2008 Porsche GT2, which is one of my dream cars, by the way, I wish I could afford one, it may have not been attainable at almost $200,000. But guess what? You pick a low mileage version up for about $8,000 and then find out that your 16-year-old kid's Honda has better infotainment technology, becomes a little embarrassing. So as cars start to age, regardless of mileage, people are going to want to actually add technology. When it becomes either too expensive or their factory radio, because of age, is just going out, it comes time to actually change it. So the next example I'm going to give you is a very extreme one. It is Bentley again. You'll see the theme here. Again, a status symbol. And this one actually was done out of a reason, because the radios were going bad. Bentley in many places of the world has a 10-year unlimited mileage warranty. Like India, we got a lot of calls for this, which is hilarious out of India. The radio itself in a Bentley, which we support, the actual suspension runs through the radio. So what happens if your radio goes bad? What do? Well, Bentley head unit replacement is the video you're about to see. What this does is integrates all of the HVAC, the suspension, everything runs through this kit. It is completely seamless, completely plug and play. It is the most advanced head unit replacement kit out there, bar none in the world. Dave, you're about to see this live. This is a real video taken in England of a Bentley.
Excuse me.
And yes, the first question I get is, does it work on left-hand drive? Yes, it works on right or left-hand drive. You'll notice that the HVAC is fully integrated. The tire pressure, suspension, everything under the sun is kept on this kit. Okay, this was a labor of love. It took a long time to do this, and the response from Bentley owners has been absolutely overwhelming. It is a flawless piece. We're really proud of this one.
And just to be clear, that is not just a radio kit.
No.
I mean, it's not a radio with a dash kit. It's all the buttons below and the next row of buttons below as well, right?
That is absolutely correct. I believe there's actually 36 different functions of the vehicle that we're actually integrating through this kit. So multiple CAN buses go into this. We're interacting with the heating, ventilation, air control. We're dealing with tire pressure monitoring. We're dealing with all kinds of stuff on this kit. You'll see the DSP options for the factory amplifier are still engaged with an aftermarket radio. I mean, every single thing that we could have thrown into this thing, we did.
Oh, Ben's all muted.
Oh, I have to ask, Derek, and if you don't know, that's fine. Just my curiosity is killing me. What is the retail price on that kit right there?
The kit alone does not include the radio. Let me make that very clear.
Right, no radio.
Suggested U.S. price on that kit is $2,500, which is a drop in the bucket considering when we came out with the kit a couple of years ago, the average 2004 Bentley was still booking at over $68,000.
Nice.
So a lot of stuff went into it.
I'll just let you know, Derek, we have about 9 minutes left.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go into the fun section here, and I've stripped a lot of this stuff out. We're going to talk about Zen Audio, digital preamps. It is absolutely possible, guys, to get absolutely world-class audio extraction out of a factory head unit. It's never really been possible before, but the proof is in the pudding. So if any of you guys follow Iasca, you hopefully heard of Brian Mitchell. Brian is now a 3-time Iasca World Champion in the Pro Division. He's been running our M650, which was the first product ever released in our Zen Audio lineup in his Evil ELR Cadillac. Vehicle sounds absolutely amazing. We're very, very proud as a company to support Brian and Team Arc Audio in their pursuits. So let's get into what these things do. So is this the only way to skin a cat? No, it's just the best way. You know, the old adage is garbage in, garbage out. So if you start with a degraded audio signal, you're simply amplifying that. So what are the challenges that you face on an OEM integrated system? Hands-free echo cancellation is a huge one, guys. Okay, frequency limitations. You have crossovers. You have a bunch of different stuff that the factory amplifier may be doing to the system that you can't change. You have all-pass filters, which are frequency-dependent filters. Okay, besides this technology of digital preamplifiers, there's no way around this, guys. What happens if you have a radio that has either a Dolby or a DTS playback using the center channel for vocals and your aftermarket system leaves the center channel out? Okay, the amplifiers in these cars, regardless of what they are built by an OEM that is trying to conserve costs. So they're going to have a reduced dynamic range and subpar signal and noise ratios. The higher your signal noise ratio is, the better your separation, the better the details are. Floor noise. Everyone heard a hiss in a system? Excessive time testing. Guys, this is a time killer. If you spend 4 hours trying to figure out signals on an amplifier, or even 1 hour, versus a 5 or 10 minute install, this is gaining you time to do other things back. Reliable turn-on circuit. We're not having to deal with DC offset or voltage sensor or anything else. This is a network-driven turn-on, so your equipment comes on and off at the proper time. Factory amplifiers meeting outputs. The #1 post on any electronic forum about what load resistor to put on the factory amplifier. Well, guess what? With a digital preamp, you don't have the problem. And ANCs. Second most common. How do I defeat the ANCs? ANC, for those of you guys that don't know, is a microphone that's noise compensation. What happens with systems of bass, is the bass will go off, it'll strip at the microphone, and then you'll get all kinds of funny stuff happening through the system. So you have to actually cancel these things. Unfortunately, in some OEM implementations, the ANC microphones are also doing noise canceling for Bluetooth. Not all of them, but some of them. So here's an example of a vehicle that you're going to have pretty much no availability to change the radio. And they're not alone. Here's another one. And here's my test case. Okay, this is an Audi. This is a 23 speaker system, 23 discrete channels out of the factory amplifier. This has everything under the sun, just like the other two vehicles you saw. It has CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got satellite radio. It has got navigation. It's got everything. Okay.
Hey, Derek, I have a Mercedes on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you do?
Yeah. You were talking Audi, right?
Yeah. What do you see now? Because I'm seeing
still the
Audi.
Mercedes.
I see the Mercedes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
seeing.
there we
Oh,
go.
there we
There's
go.
the
There
Audi.
we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So the Audi itself, what you're seeing is this is a blowout of a 23 speaker system. It has Dolby, it has DTS 5.1 and 7.1. Okay, 23 speaker amplifier. Now, how do you attack this vehicle? You know, how much time are you going to spend actually identifying each channel to figure out what the limitations are? What are the crossover points? What the frequency response? And how many channels? Well, I actually did this. Okay, so what are you challenged with? High voltage output. You use a cheap LOC, it's going to melt. All right. Yeah, you have to retain the center channel if you want to play videos and you want any type of feedback. The system has all pass filters, which means if you change the location or try to do anything, you're going to screw with the sound. Okay, it also has time alignment. Okay, your factory crossovers are not going to match the output of your aftermarket speakers. I'm sorry, it just won't. Your ANC mics are going to have to be bypassed. I can go on and on and on. The base level of this thing is just take equipment, okay, leave everything else out. You need 13 channels to amplify, to actually dedicate this sound system to doing what it's supposed to do. That means 13 independent channels of processing, 13 independent channels of actual integration of a high-low converter, for lack of a better word. So, what are Zen Audios? Okay, the first thing I'll tell you is we built the Ferrari. We did not build the Chevy $12,000 car. We took the best components available globally. We started with this to say, how do we build an interface to produce absolutely perfect audio quality with the limitations of the factory system? What we were able to achieve is a line of processors that will give you between 112 and 123 signal noise ratio. Okay, that is equivalent to the highest end aftermarket head units ever built out of a factory system. Okay, we've enabled this so that it eliminates all crossover points, all pass filters. Your echo cancellation is not affected by any means. Simply put, it gives you a predictable and perfect foundation to build your house. Okay. So what are the actual products? We have the M650. This is the unit that's in Brian Mitchell's car. It was the first unit delivered from the Zen Audio line. Phenomenal little piece, completely plug and play. This is compatible with General Motors, Chevrolet, and Cadillac vehicles on the Most 50 system.
Derek, I hate to do this, but I think in essence of going beyond 9 o'clock, we might, with these particular models, have to skim through them a little bit quicker.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so there's the ELR. Okay, this is our most popular piece. This is NAV-TV. This would be for Ford and Lincoln with either the B&O or Revell. This one has 12 channels of output versus the 6 on the M650. We have the Zen V and the Zen M. Okay, this is the same hardware, guys. They can be flashed back and forth. We recently, I just have to add, we added compatibility for a brand new technology that Audi came up with, like Ford and Lincoln. They've introduced A2B. Luckily, their radio controller is using both A2B and MOS. So we're very happy to report that the Zen V is now compatible with the 2020 and 21 Audi vehicles with the A2B audio systems. We're the first in the world to do this, and we've had phenomenal results from the customers. Included with the kit, you get a programmer. This program is a tool. This means that you can flash any Audi out there with the A2B system to be compatible with the Zen V. If the customer wants to put it back to stock, you load a new file, which is available on our website, puts the vehicle back to stock. So don't think of this as a part. This is a tool, and you can use it on hundreds and hundreds of vehicles without having to send it back to us. Okay? And this is just a picture of the A2B. You can see that there's a standard wire harness there. There's no MOS fiber optic, which is in traditional MOS 150 systems. So with this interface now, we've gone to the next level. Audi is compatible. We do know that VW and several other VAG brands are on the technology. We are diligently trying to come up with compatibility and make sure this works before we claim it. No one likes to be used as a scapegoat, but as far as Audi is concerned, it is fully compatible. Zen F. Ferrari threw us a curveball. They went to MOS 150. This was one of the few projects that we kind of dove into during COVID. This is for the 17 and up Portofino. It is based around, but not exactly the same as the Zen V and Zen M. Again, getting through some of these challenges in a higher end vehicle, we're able to knock that down to a few minute installation instead of several hours. And then, of course, we have the Zen 25. So this is for the vast majority of BMW vehicles from as early as about 2008 up to about 2017. One of the difference we did to this versus the other things, we put a really hot 17-volt peak output on the RCAs of this sucker. We added time alignment to the system and a couple other features. We're building up for another release of a full DSP, but this is kind of a glimpse of where we're going as a company. Zen is here to stay. We are progressing very, very fast and moving forward. So one of the things I have to say is a lot of installers, when they set up a system, they'll take the gain on the radio, they'll put it to 75%. Okay, you cannot do that with Zen. What you do is you turn your gains all the way down on your amps and processors. Turn the factory bass mid treble to neutral and crank the gain, as they say, on Spinal Tap, to 11. Okay, if you do that, we will produce a full unclipped output where you can now accurately set your gain structure on your DSP and amplifiers so that no matter what your customer does, it's not going to clip. Okay, make sense? No one likes comebacks. I know. I used to glue pots in place with super glue. You eliminate that with this. Okay, if it does ever clip, let's say you get a customer that maxes out your bass, mid, and treble, there's actually a light that's going to go red and flash on the Zen. That actually tells you a visual of, hey, you're into clipping. You need to turn the gains down. You need to fix the system because you're going to be getting distortion. Okay. I'll just touch base on this. We recommend with Zen Audio, when you're putting higher amperage systems in, that you do run a dedicated ground for your system that matches your power wire. We found deficiencies in a lot of vehicles that are glued together. And it's highly recommended for continuous use over a long period of time with not just Zen, but with your audio equipment. So Zen AVB is a product we came out with. This is connected to the new GM platform, which is connected to a Wi-Fi. GM has had a lot of updates. We unfortunately had to pull this. I put this thing in to address any concerns. NavTV right now is diligently working on the replacement AVB, and we're expected to have a release by about May of this year. So this product will re-release as a version 2 with full compatibility. Our engineering staff wanted the time to be able to really extensively test this product before we release it. This is the last thing we're going to do, and we're going to go really quick through this thing. This is SecureKey, kind of a cool project. I know in Canada and the United States, there's been a lot of press on stolen vehicles. In fact, according to statistics, theft is up about 9%. And can you guess how they're doing it? Here you go. Here's your top 10 vehicles stolen in Canada. Okay, these aren't old cars. These are new cars. Can you guess what they all have in common? Right there.
Push to start.
Push to start. Okay, the theft is called relay attack. And Dave, you have the last video if we've got time for it.
Police across the country say they are stumped by a rash of car thefts.
Thieves may have figured out a way to amplify the signal sent from your key fob to your car, unlocking it.
A thief is able to unlock your car at will.
I have that device in my car, real quick. Essentially what it does is, once the key fob is sitting at idle, not being moved, it puts the key fob to sleep. It basically disconnects the power from the battery so that relay attacks, which is basically amplifying the signal from the key fob to the truck, which is what thieves are doing, and simulating the fact that the keys could be beside the truck or the car or whatever it may be, which enables the thieves to open up the car, start it off, drive off, and do whatever they want. I threw one in key fob for my Dodge Ram and was sitting in the truck one day, and I was waiting for my kid. I went to go start it, wouldn't start, couldn't figure out why. It said key fob not detected. Then realized, hey, the keys have been sitting on the dash, not doing anything. I jiggled the keys, press start, away you go. So it looks simple, but it's highly complex, high tech, and it's an awesome way of increasing revenue and a really quick install.
Makes a great stocking stuffer.
It is actually, and if you guys want to see it, I actually have a real video that I've keyed up on my machine. It's a Mercedes-Benz, brand new. This is a real video. This car gets stolen in 47 seconds. And the way
let's watch it. Let's watch it. We got time. We're at the end, Dave. We got time, buddy.
Okay.
Here we go.
So what these guys are doing, you're going to have one guy go up to the house and one guy sit at the car. You'll see him pull the handle. What he's doing is he's having the car initiate the response looking for the key. The device you see him carrying is now amplifying that and relaying it up to his friend by the door. That is now sending him to the house. He's looking for the key. So take a look what's happening and watch how fast this happens. Okay, he's already in the car. Okay, the guy's going out of range, so it doesn't confuse the other one. Now he's going back. Now he's going to start it.
See the lights come on? Yeah.
There you go.
Done. Gonzo.
Okay. So
I don't know about you, but if I was a criminal, I would wear black. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that's a Mercedes.
yeah, not exactly an easy vehicle to steal, right?
Well, I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
So.
And this is happening all over. You saw that list. The only thing in common with those vehicles, and I use Canada because, obviously this is a Canadian presentation. The factory systems are not secure enough. This is a very cost-effective and easy thing to implement to protect you from this type of theft.
We got to wrap this up, Dave. Did we have a keyword for this one?
Let's use secure key.
Secura key.
And you don't have to spell it
Secura
right.
key.
That's fine. We'll be forgiving. But secure key, Ben will throw up the slide there. We won't explain it in detail. You can read it, but basically it's a code you can submit online towards some prizes you can win. We're also offering 5% off on any order if you submit it on the portal using the CMA promo code. So, I really appreciate, I know we went a bit over time, but I appreciate Derek spending the time with us tonight to go into everything in the detail that he went. I know, even though it didn't feel rushed, he left out a lot of information because, Zen in itself could be over an hour long. So, once again, grateful to Derek. Obviously did this not obviously, but he put this together at the last minute, and I'm happy to do that. And a little sad that this may be the last training session that we ever do with Derek.
I'm like herpes. You can't get rid of me.
So, Dave.
Yes, sir.
I got someone knocking on our virtual door here I'm going to bring on.
Okay.
Uh-oh. It's the
Ladies
boss.
and gentlemen, this is Moni Melman, the boss, owner of NavTV. How are you, sir?
Good evening, Canada. Good evening, Frank, and good evening, Dave.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I understand that you wanted to come on to say something.
Well, first of all, great presentation. CMA Industry Week. Gemsen is doing a great job and going on our second year right now. Following our phone call as well. I'm more than grateful for pretty good achievement throughout all the difficulties and this difficult time of pandemic and industry fluctuations, fires in Japan, containers lost in sea. So hopefully the worst is behind us. But the main reason that I'm stopping by today is to say thank you to Derek for over 15 years of doing what he's doing this evening. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of supporting our customers. And like Derek likes to say, there is no way to do it other than labor of love. You've been great. Luckily, you're not going too far. I know where you are. We're staying in the same building. So I wanted to use this opportunity to say thank you. Frank and Dave, thank you very much. And thank the hundreds of customers in Canada and the terrific job you're doing in Canada. Stay strong. God bless. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks,
you,
Moni.
Moni.
Thanks, man.
I think that's a wrap.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Derek, can't thank you enough. Hopefully we get to see you somewhere down the road, or maybe circle back. Who knows? We never know. I don't like to predict things, but we do appreciate your time with us. And thank you for sharing all that great information about NavTV. It certainly expanded my horizons on the entire offering beyond Zen, which is what, of course, I knew NavTV about. So thank you so much and have a great evening.
You too as well. Thank you.
Dave?
Great way
to arrived. We have arrived.
Well, yeah, bittersweet. I was happy to see our, marathon hour thing go, but also at the same time, to end on a, in a sweet note like that. I mean, I'm grateful to Derek. The industry's grateful to Derek. I mean, he's great, and what a pleasure it was to have him, close off our last session for the English session. So
let me give you an opportunity to thank who you need to thank, man. This is it. We're wrapping up.
Oh, absolutely. So, I got to thank our entire team at Gemsen. We've got Mike Danbrook behind the scenes and Tony DeRosa. You saw him in on some of the sessions. We've got Yuvi at the order desk, Michael Connor, our VP. We've got a team of people working at the office. They were there on the weekend just trying to get orders out because of the sheer madness of everything that's going on. We're thankful to our customers that are being patient with some of the challenges that we're all facing. We all know that everybody is in a hurry and everybody wants to get their product right away, but people are, for the most part, understanding of the challenges and forgiving. And, we'll continue to try our very best to make everybody happy. We'll continue to support the industry and, push the boundaries with offering top-notch products. And, we're going to obviously continue doing some French sessions in a couple of days. So, for our French viewers, you'll have a chance to learn some information there. But, Ben and Frank, the most thanks goes to you guys because obviously you created the format, you created the forum, and put this all together at a time when, we're all trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to relay our message? How are we going to share the knowledge? We can't travel, we can't do this or that, so this has been phenomenal. It's lots of stuff to absorb, but we highly, recommend, guys taking their time over the next few months. You can never learn enough. As much as you think you're an expert or how long you've been doing this, I've been with Gemsen for 25 years. I learn every day. I'm not an expert, and anybody that is doing anything in 12 volt, please take advantage of these training sessions. Watch them, not only ours, all the other ones out there, and be better. Become valuable in the industry.
Awesome. Can't ask for better than that. Thank you so much for all your collaboration, everybody at Gemsen, all your partners that came on today. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll see you on the other side.
See you shortly.
Take care. That was Dave Singh. Spent all day with him. Champ. Made it through. And no stranger if you obviously deal with Gemsen. That's it. That's a wrap on day 6, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us. It was an incredible day. Started with Sobel, ended with Gemsen, went through a slew of different brands. I hope you guys got to learn on. I know I certainly did. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for day 7 of CMA Industry Week. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.